Hi guys, and welcome to yet another very exciting Adobe Audition tutorial, and in this tutorial I want to talk about some other features and some panels that were not covered in the last tutorial, which was about the interface of the Adobe Audition. And some of the panels that we are going to discuss in here, they are not part of any workspace that they are given with the Adobe Audition. For example, I told you how to change different between different workspaces, and how you can change your experience in working in them. And every workspace has different panels in them, but some of these panels that we are going to talk about today, they are not found in the in any workspace. You have to open them individually, and some of them even open as floating windows. So first of all, the one thing that I want to talk about is whatever panel that you are working at, and it is this line. It depends on the version that you are working on, and also depends on the settings of your appearance that you set in, your preferences, that how it will look like. Of course, you can change your preference and many things in it by coming to preferences and then going to appearance. You can change these things and settings and colors and the look of your Adobe Audition. But it has this blue line in my version of Adobe Audition, which lets me know that at which panel I am currently working on, and at which panel is currently active. And if I push the keyboard shortcuts on the keyboard, whether they will apply the change or not. If I am working in here in the markers panel, and I use a certain keyboard shortcut, suppose they are associated with this essential sound effect panel, they might not take place, or they might not work, or stuff like that. So this line is a very good indication that which panel at the moment is active. Other than that, the panels that are not showing, and if your work requires more panels than the one that have been given in the default workspace, you can always go to the windows and check which panels are on at the moment and which panels are not on. Okay, as you can see, many panels do not have the tick mark or the check mark in front of them. That means they are not currently on, and some of them have check marks in front of them. For example, this marker panel is on because it has check mark, but this effect rake, although it is in the interface and it is brought up, but it is not on the forefront. It do not have the check mark in here. Sometimes panels are stacked with each other like this, and the one that is in the forefront, then if you check in the windows, it have check mark in front of it. But since now the marker has gone into the background, it does not have check mark. If you click on it, then it comes into the front. So every panel that is on the forefront and is active does appear to have a check mark in here. So you can check that from there. If we come to another panel, which actually it's a bar and it gives you great information, it can be considered as a panel of info, and most of the time it is ignored and people do not look at it. It gives you useful information. At the moment we have stopped our track, and it is telling us that which action we have performed. It is telling us that it is stopped, and it gives you other information also if we select different things and do different actions in here. And it on the right side also tells us our sample rate in hertz. It's 44,100 is our bit depth, whether we have two channels, left and right, stereo or mono, how much memory has this file consumed in this process, what is the duration of our audio file. It is 3 minutes and 43 seconds. As you can see, it is 3 minutes and 43 seconds also in here, and how much free space that we have left on our hard drive. The hard disk on which Adobe Audition is installed is 52 GB still more left. So it is a good indication, because working with Adobe Audition sometimes consumes your hard drive place really fast, because I told you audio waveforms take much more space than any other, because every sample is considered as one frame, or it takes a little bit of data. So it is always good to know that you are not running out of disk space and stuff like that. Other than these, there are few panels that originally are not part of any workspace. For example, if you go to window and click on this amplitude statistics, this does not appear to be in any place. Okay, I have already scanned my audio form and it is given me this statistic, but if you brought in a new audio file and you want to run its statistics, it's gonna give you the statistics or the values or all of it of its amplitude level, the dB level, or the volume, if you can call it in the simple terms. It gives you the peak amplitude, maximum sample value, minimum RMS, dynamic range, loudness, and all those things are shown in here and in very great detail. And they just not only show that for the whole audio file, it shows it in the stereo file in double channels. It is divided the information in the left speaker and the right speaker or microphone. For example, the peak amplitude of our left speaker is 21 dB and the right one is, for some unknown reason, a bit slower. It has amplitude level of 2.96. The same thing comes here with the loudness. It is negative 32.58 dB. It has a little reduced 32.28 dBs. So it even tells you the different amplitude level of different channels separately, not differently, of course. Okay. The other thing is, if you want to minimize or maximize the size of any panel, you can hit the tilde key, or alternatively you can click the double key and it will maximize like this with your mouse. Some effects like the amplitude statistics level. There is another one very useful one, which is frequency analysis, on which you can analyze the frequencies in linear and logarithmic way. It tells you that at which amplitude level how the frequency will behave. For example, at this if we go to logarithmic, it shows a little bit more detail that at 30 Hz or 100 Hz, at which frequency will be active at this amplitude level. And when we go towards 1K, where the frequency levels will be, and at 20K, what is the amplitude of the frequencies at this level, or what is the amplitude of the 20K frequencies. As you can see, as the frequency increases, those sounds or those waves have lower amplitude level, and those waves or sound files which have less frequency, their amplitude is increased. So keep that in mind. Less frequency means more loudness and more amplitude. More frequency means that the sound will be shrill but its loudness will be down, or amplitude level would be low. So you can get the sort of information in here. I am gonna play this audio file, and as you can see in here, change to linear. The higher the frequency level, the lower the amplitude level. The lower the frequency level, the higher the amplitude level. This is the amplitude level in dBs. This is the frequency level in hertz. So this is another very important and useful panel which is not normally shown in any interface. And there are some panels in here that are used quite most often these days in TV broadcast. Loudness, for example, the loudness meter radar, that is not even part of the Windows, and you cannot turn it on from here. You have to go to the effects menu and then turn it on from here. Come to special and then click on loudness radar meter. Now let me clarify that the effects menu is usually contains effects, and these are effects that are applied to your audio file. This is not an effect. This effect loudness radar, if you ever clicked and while checking out your effects, that okay, what does this effect do? It does not do anything. It's a loudness radar meter, and most of the time nowadays it is becoming standard. The simple dB meter is not used. This meter is used. I'm gonna play it to see that you see how it looks like. It gives you more better information, and there are more settings, tweaking that you can change, and you can change the appearance and stuff, and presets are also available for it. So the point is that not even all the panels are available in the Windows drop down menu. They might be somewhere else in this menu. Other than this, the last one panel I want to talk about is the time panel. Okay, some people find this not that much important because time is already shown in there and you can see the time duration in many other places, but it is a very good useful panel for some people if they want their time to be shown in, or duration of the audio file to be in larger size and easy to see, and so they just open it. This panel does not do anything else rather than show time in larger increment or size. So that's it, guys. These were some additional panels that we needed to talk about and which were not covered in the previous interface tutorial. And in the upcoming future tutorial, we will talk about some of the new features of the Adobe Audition. And after that, we will start learning how to apply effects and how to repair damaged audio files and repair their noisiness and remove different sort of sounds and omit and make different sort of alteration, how to make remixes. So by the end of this tutorial, you will go from total novice who does not know anything about sound repair or anything to a very good professional level that you would be able to do a lot of decent work. If you cannot take your audio level by the end of this Adobe Audition series to the blockbuster Hollywood movie levels, well, you will be at least reach 70% or 80% of their level. So I will not let anything that is of importance slip by, and if I forget about any important topic that I have not covered or made a tutorial in this tutorial series, then please let me know in the comment section. And I will try to make a tutorial about that also and include it at the end of this tutorial series. So until next time, I take my leave from you guys.